to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists, and today, the penultimate installment in Mission Impossible. Our anticipation of the final reckoning has reached a fever pitch. It is 1 week away. It is time for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. It was released on July 12th, 2023, written for the screen by Eric Jenderson, I don't know if it's a soft J, and Christopher McQuarrie, directed by Christopher McQuarrie. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and 'tis always a pleasure to have you. How are we feeling about the seventh installment in this franchise?
I've caught up. I might have gone right to the bell, right to the buzzer, but hey, I'm here. And I'm officially, I'm in the know of everything. So I'm glad not everything is now just in random clips that I've seen online. You know, it's all in context, which is crazy. And a thing that came into context was the only thing I knew coming into this movie, the jump, the cliff jump and everything.
The cliffside, yeah.
That's how he gets onto the train.
The train.
I thought that he was just escaping, or I don't know, or like I just thought, oh well, he does the stunt, and he lands on the ground,
getting on a train, and that build-up is so good. That's the only thing in terms of the way they marketed it. Like knowing he was going to a cliff jump as Benji is leading him up the side of a mountain, fucking rules. You know, like you're like, oh, this is when he does that. No, it's so good, man. And there's the thing that I will always have a soft spot for this movie because it was the first one I saw in theaters. Obviously, the final reckoning, I'll have something to say about that, but it was just so special on the big screen. You know, I was so Ethan Hunt pilled. I was all the way in. I had fallen in love, and then I got to watch this movie on a big screen, and it was so special, man. I think that I gave it a 5 fresh out of the movie theater on Letterboxd. I rewatched it for the first time last November when the trailer for MI8 dropped. I rewatched all the movies again because I was so excited. I rescinded my 5. I rewatched it last night, and it's regained the 5. I feel good about it, man. I love it. I love it, and it was this whole rewatch, putting everything in context on a personal level that made me realize that I'm comfortable placing this at 3 out of 7. And having 3 5-star movies is pretty wild in this franchise. But I adore it. I think that Tom Cruise is on his game. I think that Haley Atwell is a fantastic addition. She fits like a fucking glove here. Everyone is on point. Rebecca Ferguson, as Ilsa Faust is so good. Vanessa Kirby is incredible. Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames, the usual. Isai Morales is a good villain. There's not really much you got room for, and you know we still manage Palm Clementif being our proxy Leah Seydoux in this one, except she gets to stick around the whole time, which is awesome.
Yeah. The characters, I mean, they were popping off. You kind of had everyone going in, even like the smaller.
Shea Wiggum, baby, Shea Wiggum.
Let's see. Yeah. I'm thinking of he was in AI, I think, and he was no, maybe I'm wrong here. He's in Saw. I know this for sure. He's in the first Saw movie. He's like the guy at the end who's like, oh, let's just build a new fascist state and I'll actually control everything.
Oh, Cary Elwes.
Yes. That guy. He's not in AI, right? That's not. Am I confusing him with someone else, or is that
you? Are you thinking of Jude Law? I don't know.
No, he would. Whoever made was on the team and was at the opening of the movie in The Professor or something.
I believe you are. No, that is not
someone else.
That is not Cary Elwes.
That is someone
Cary
else.
Elwes has, a very, very notable career. He was the lead in The Princess Bride, which you might have seen at some point.
Yes.
He was in Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise. Also, he's been around the block. He's been in plenty of stuff and is an incredible actor. But
yeah, I don't know why I thought there was an AI connection then, or who that is. That's but okay, nice to know it's not him then. But even like I don't know. I guess the point I was trying to make, like his character, it was just cool to have that type, or just there was every kind of person in the movie, and this, the concept here, I don't think could kind of be more handpicked for kind of me. But that's the surprising thing, is that even though it is AI and this, it's always one step ahead and whatever, I think Lane was a more intriguing villain in this sort of sense of like always staying one step ahead. And
yeah,
like,
it's more impressive for Solomon Lane to be one step ahead because he is a human and he isn't operating with any advantage. That is what makes him a more scary. Oh, not even more scary. I don't know what it definitely makes him more interesting though. It definitely makes him more interesting. I think that what is really, really awesome about the Entity as a villain is the sheer infallibility of it. The way one of my favorite parts of the movie is when Simon Pegg reaches the bomb and it says "You are done," and the music swells in that sort of Herman-esque ringing, and he it knows my name. It knows I was going to be here. Like that's the good shit. This really, I think, for the first time since one, gets the paranoia right. Exactly right, in my opinion. I think that this movie is the closest companion to one in terms of tone since one, which is cool, and I think that it blends what 5 and 6 do very, very effectively, and what one does very effectively, and it ends up making one of my favorite movies in the franchise.
Yeah, I feel like it has some Indiana Jones esque or of some
the chase through the chase through Venice really, really does that, and it's also one of those things where though Indiana Jones and Mission Impossible got compared a lot in 2023 because this came out a week before Indy 5 or a couple weeks after Indy 5. I can't remember if Indy 5 was late June or late July, but one way or the other, it was around that time. And I remember one of the only things I didn't love about Indy 5 were the chase sequences, and then we watched this, and it's like, oh yeah, that's how you fucking do it, baby. That's where it's at. I love the car, the yellow Fiat. That whole sequence is just slapstick 40s rom-com-esque shit so hard in an action context. I adored it. It was screwball. It was fantastic. And Haley Atwell and Tom Cruise have a bizarrely good chemistry, like just instant click whenever they run into each other at the airport. I don't even really get it.
That was creative. The handcuff together and then having to drive, and then whenever they were flipping or going upside, and then they ended up,
they land on the other side.
And they're like, wait, what? Yeah.
What? Yeah. So one of my favorite bit is the erectile dysfunction bit. Whenever he gets in the car,
how they set these things up, man.
It's okay.
It's not usually like this. I swear.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's go.
I swear they have this air of making Ethan like this cuck, or like, I don't know, like it's weird. It's on one hand he stands for like, no, I will save everyone else before I save me, and that is what he stands for. But then they joke about it like sexually, and it kind of makes him like this, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like he has to be okay with, like, not being the one. I don't know. Every time is just kind of what I feel like. There's always this air to it. But no, here, funny. This was kind of the first, I guess Ilsa, she, like, every girl that meets Ethan is kind of just, like, they have to be on their team, or be on Ethan's team, even if they don't want to accept it. Like, and that's kind of one of the elements that I love the most. But I feel like Haley Atwell, like Grace was the most anti-Ethan. Like she was the most like, no, I don't, like I'm a thief at heart. I need like this is my life.
She
and,
tries for almost the entire movie to
Yeah.
do things on her own, and it takes someone dying for her to realize that they're the good guys. You know, it's a. Yeah, so how about that? How about Ilsa being gone?
Yeah,
how you feeling?
that did suck. I mean, at first, the first death, you know, whenever she died in air quotes at the beginning, I'm like, okay, that was way too fast. I'm like, if she's actually dead, oh my god. So I was like, I was really afraid that was her death. But then, man, I mean,
you're dead. You stay dead. Yeah.
Yeah. The ultimatum at the end of like it's either her, you know, Ethan seems to have his type as well. It seems to be he likes the brunette women. I guess Ilsa, I don't know. Rebecca Ferguson's kind of got some orangish or reddish in there a little bit, I guess. But
Haley Atwell's got some real Julia shit going on.
That's what I was gonna. Yeah, it kind of was a spitting image of Julia and then Marie as well. This I don't even know. Is that just some? That's not
a
anyone
backstory that has never been in a movie. Yeah.
Okay.
That
that's
actually,
what I thought,
and Isai Morales being the one who shot her and stuff. And
yeah, am I not remembering something in MI1?
No,
I'm like,
that's a new, fresh story of how Ethan joined the IMF. Not even it's prior to him being in the IMF. So,
so Marie was like the first girl to like.
And this was another thing
Ethan realized, maybe, huh?
Yeah, and this is another thing that fresh off of Indy 5 was kind of. I mean, like there's something cool technically about Harrison Ford's de-aging and all that stuff, but then in motion, it's like, okay, well, you're composited on. This is ugly. It's you know, no matter how much money you put into this wasn't going to look good. Christopher McQuarrie and Tom Cruise repeat, like whenever they went on the press junket, they talked about the flashback and how that, you know, like why didn't you de-age Tom Cruise? And funny enough, he was like, they were like, well, the problem with de-aging someone who's been famous for a very long time is you remember what they looked like.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, whenever you see young Harrison, they didn't expressly say, you know, when you see young Harrison Ford in Indy, you know, like, yeah, that looks pretty close, but it doesn't look exactly the way Harrison Ford looked, you know, when, with Tom Cruise in that movie from last year, Here, the one that goes through, like, time in the same spot, with Robin Wright and stuff, you know what Tom Hanks looked like when he was younger, so it's like, you know that's not exactly Tom Hanks. So what they did was they silhouetted Tom Cruise the whole time and just kept him the way he is, which is a great idea, you know, especially considering it's not an extended chunk of the movie. It is very, very brief, but I
heard a crazy fact about Tom's age and just kind of like just a little what the fuck is that in the first movie, Jon Voight, his age, I think he's like 58 or something like that during filming.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is older than Jon Voight is in this movie than he was in MI1, which is like, and he's still in the franchise from 1 to 7 and is making another one coming out, like, which is like, what the hell? So like I don't know. That's like
the longevity is inarguable. You know,
it's like you don't even need to de-age him.
Been around.
A little,
well, and that's what's cool too is that the aura he's presenting, and frankly, I really, I do enjoy Tom Cruise and the way Tom Cruise looks a lot. The work he's had done is very, very impressive.
He's got something. That's
I mean, like that's a 60-year-old man who looks very naturally handsome, who is obviously not naturally handsome. Like not naturally, he was always naturally handsome, but now that he's aging, he has to keep up with that somehow. It seems like, and you don't have to, but he certainly is, and you can tell. But it doesn't look like, oh, buddy, you got work done. You know, you know, like it looks good. It's surprising how good it looks, actually.
That's the secret that I think will come out eventually of how he looks good that I don't want to find out. But so I'll leave it just up in the air. And he's just a really healthy guy that has some nice plastic surgery, and that's about it. But yeah, no, it's like I brought up Indy because like I think even this, like, at the beginning, you have that nervous guy that it's his first time, and he's like, no, you have to tell me the line. It's like, so it's kind of like, I don't know if it's just that guy being nervous on the first go around, or if it's like, oh, this is Ethan Hunt, this is like the biggest name in the industry, blah 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 sort of thing. But at least they're doing a lot to show how people join the IMF, which is really interesting. So I feel like at least that's going to be, like, I hope they go into the Marie and Gabriel and all this backstory more. I
have to imagine we will in MI8, because the stuff that they say to Haley Atwell's character, where they're like, once upon a time we were all in a similar situation. Yeah. You were in a similar situation where all of you were wanted by multiple governments.
Yeah,
Ethan Hunt was wanted in multiple countries, like, or not, maybe not multiple countries, but like wanted for something that was going to be detrimental to his, freedom. I don't know. Like, that's that's interesting. I want to know. And Simon Pegg. Benji was in a situation like that.
That's why I wonder if, like, they just they happened to be doing something illegal or criminal in their own world. They weren't part of any organization
100%.
yet, and then they just happened to stumble upon an IMF mission, and then instead, if they're still on the right side, then that's how the IMF recruit. Is that, like, I don't know. Like, I'm wondering if this is just like, if they just realize that someone has nowhere else to go and they have the skills, this is just kind of how they recruit, or
it's got to be part of it.
So, but at least there is a lot to look forward to, and still be like, I'm very glad that the end of this, it wasn't like a Spider-Verse situation, or like I wasn't left like, oh my god, what? Like, there's so much
obviously
left.
more story, but this story did conclude. Like, this mission came to a close, which is very nice. The mission of getting the key came to a close, and that's what you want. And great MacGuffin, the cruciform key, love it. I think that's awesome. A lot of great setup, and then kind of diversion of expectation in this that I really appreciate. Like at the beginning with the ghost submarine, you're kind of like, what's the IMF up to? What's Ethan Hunt doing? And then they're like, psych, it's actually AI. You should be horrified. I love it. I love it. It's.
I thought for sure Ethan was on the torpedo heading toward the submarine, and that's why it disappeared, is because Ethan was on the sub. And then it's like, oh no, actually AI is just fucking with him and blowing him up. I mean, I feel like the good chess one step ahead sort of thing reveal that I'm looking for, I feel like that is next movie. They kind of did it a little bit with like, well, you either kill Gabriel or Ethan dies, and either way the AI wins, and it's kind of like, that's, it's just it's going to the most likely outcomes, and it's just pushing everything towards that. I don't know, but like it didn't feel like there was like it's truly revealed its like master plan. I don't know.
No, not at all. It hasn't. That's the whole thing where they're like, I'm the only one who knows what the key unlocks. That key has to unlock more than we think it does, right?
Yeah. Like, and Mantis, what's her, Paris? Yeah, Paris. Yeah. She knew. And is she just high up in, with like, how does she know?
She overheard the conversation between Carrie Elwes. That's why he tries to kill her.
That's right. Oh my God, does. Yeah, she was right there. Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's the thing, is that I still don't think that they have quite revealed what the key unlocks. Yes, it unlocks the Sevastopol. What on the Sevastopol is what we're getting out, though. And I know they're like, we think it's his source code, and it very well could just be his source code, the entity's source code. But, like, I don't know, that feels like, and maybe I'm overthinking it, but it feels like them figuring that out was too easy.
That is kind of true. It is, I guess, the scary part about this weapon is that once it is just turned on and first used in that way, then it's over. Like, it's like, it is already sunk in it's like made every pathway that it needs to make, which is, I love the reveal of like it touched every system, every bank, every security thing, but it did nothing. It just told us it was there and left. And like I feel like this is, I mean, I really hope it doesn't happen in the real world, but like this kind of does feel like if AI were to wake up, it'd be like, hey, motherfuckers, look what I can do. Like this kind of feels like it would be kind of a badass wake up moment,
right?
For AI to do. But yeah, you're right. Like it does. Is it really just this one ship? Is it really just the source code only survives here? Because I thought that they said like, someone else was working on it outside of the submarine, and then it was put into the submarine so that they would know where it is.
The United States government was working on it. Yeah.
So why would it only unlock a thing in a Russian submarine? You know, it's like that doesn't quite make sense. Like is that just the only surviving hard drive or whatever the fuck that has its source code on it, and it's nowhere else? Because if it, I guess that is kind of fair. If it is anywhere else, then it will infiltrate everything. So like maybe this was the first time it was actually put into the real world. I don't know there, but at least I'm on board with there being a lot more, or like there has to be a bigger something. I don't know. It feels like
and that's the climax we're building to. You know, it's not just. It just feels like there is going to be another thing where you're like, oh, you know, because I really do enjoy the Entity as a villain. If for nothing else, the very idea of Tom Cruise versus AI, that's great. It's as far as this coming out in 2023, the rise of AI, quote unquote, art and all that good stuff, like them kind of being like, nah, they refer to it as cold, calculated, emotionless, you know, like there's nothing human about it. I appreciate that angle of it, you know, and I think that there's a lot to really enjoy from that perspective a bit. I think that I love the party. The party sequence in Venice is fucking incredible. The Entity being you could say that the interested party is this party. And the way Tom Cruise like gets up and looks around and stuff. It's so good, man. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll dive into that, the AI and replicating a likeness, if that's going to be like a dynamic in the next movie. If like, I wonder if they, you know, if the Entity, if they've gotten to the point where they can not just make a mask for someone to put on Ethan, or to put on Ethan's face, but if it's a true, you know, Westworld type, I don't know, where because they do grab the face a lot and try to pull it off, and I see in the next movie they try to pull off Ethan's face, they realize it's like, oh wait, what? This isn't a mask.
It's a robot.
This is actually Ethan, and then like. Because I would see it like there is the real Ethan who is saving everyone and who is going to do everything they can, and then there's going to be this cold, just emotionless Ethan that's just, I don't know, equivalent but bad, you know, is it somehow. But I don't know. That feels a little too not Mission Impossible to make like a robot, I don't know, like an Ultron version of Ethan, pretty much is. I don't know. It's kind of what I just want in my headcanon, but yeah, it doesn't feel real. At least. That's
the thing, though, is that there's not entirely not evidence that would indicate that, though. You know, like the big speculation on this movie is Gabriel real? You know, you watch him come out of that suitcase wearing that mask and stuff and just kind of get up and walk, you know, and it looks like a breathing apparatus. It's probably all it is. But there's a little something there. It's like that doesn't seem natural, you know. It's a, but you know what, and that's the thing. I don't know that I entirely buy into it, but you know, is there a, because Gabriel wants to share death with the world. That's how Ilsa puts it. He wants to share death with the world. Does the Entity really have the same goal? I don't think that Gabriel and the Entity have the same ideas, you know? Like Luther puts it, either Gabriel dies on that train and the entity wins, or Ethan dies on the train and the entity wins. Gabriel isn't the be all end all for the entity, there's that's why I'm like, I think that the entity has larger scope plans than killing people,
He's just using him, like Kittredge says. It's like I'm supposed to use you, Ethan. And like it's the entity just it's like the vessel. I don't know, pretty much for just taking, and like that is interesting that that one kind of like a side cop, the guy who was more of like on Ethan's side, always challenging, being like, well, wait, like, what are we doing? What was his name? Degas.
Degas.
Degas. Where he was just kind of like, whose side are you on? And
it's like against the world, I guess everybody's,
So I feel like they're doing kind of a thing where they're like challenging authority, or it's like at the end of the day, every single one of these people are just following orders, or like it's like they're being used in a sort of way. But if Ethan is kind of, Kittredge does say that, like he's using him, whatever, but Ethan feels a little outside of just taking orders. Like he does accept the mission, yes, but like he doesn't answer to anyone after that.
Leave word. I love that. So you just leave word with this mysterious man, and he completes your missions that you're incapable of doing. And they're like, yeah, that's about the size of it. Yep. Yeah, it's incredible. I love it. And I do think that one of the things they're making a point to emphasize with Degas, with Shea Wiggum's character, with Paris, with Ethan, with Grace, is that at every turn, what brings them closer to winning is their distinct humanity. Degas being like, well, if it comes to the end of the world, I guess I'm on everybody's side. At every turn when Shea Wiggum has the opportunity to take Ethan Hunt down, he chooses not to because he knows it wouldn't be the right choice. Grace chooses to accept the mission. Paris does end up betraying him because Ethan saved her life, and she appreciates that. Like that's the shit that like the AI cannot comprehend, really. It can understand that it will happen. It can't understand why. And I think that that's what is ultimately going to be the undoing of the entity, is that Gabriel has evolved beyond human empathy, and aligning itself with something like that will ultimately be its undoing.
I like that. Yeah, and like it feels like everyone kind of had their test, where like the thief was tested with 100 billion, or I don't know, 100 whatever it was. Yeah, like $100 million straight wire transfer, yes or no? And she's like, fuck, it's like, no, I can't do that. I knew she would, the hesitation. I'm like, yes. I'm like, you can't hit. Yeah, I don't know. So it's everyone. I love all these tests, the moral quandaries and everything. Yeah,
like Ilsa has to die, but she doesn't have to die for Grace. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's another like, there's just layer after. There is, by the way, way too much in this movie that makes me think Benji dies in the next one. Way too much. There's a moment at the end during Kittredge's monologue, whenever he says like your team will die and you will not be able to save them, and it's just an image of Benji watching Tom Cruise land his speed wing and stuff. I'm like, fuck no, stop it.
You are done Benji, as well. Yeah,
you are done. Yeah, and he, there's that moment whenever they're like, I remember seeing this in theaters, and Gabriel says, "Someone you love, someone you care about has to die. It'll be her or her." And whenever the AI starts speaking with Benji's voice, another AI art sort of, using voice actors and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a little something there. But whenever he does that, he smashes his computer and goes, "I'm going after him," And for like a moment, you're like, oh no, it wasn't really her or her. It's Benji. Like, Benji's gonna die. Like, there's just too much that makes me go, Benji's in danger, and I don't like that. So either Benji dies, or the person that Ethan finally dies for is Benji.
Oh man. Oh yeah. I mean, because this. I hope it's kind of I don't know. I would much actually hope
that's what's crazy. I would rather Ethan died for his friends than his friends die again.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what Benji answers. Like, who do you care for most in the world?
What is the most important thing in the world to you? My friends. So sweet, man. God. Benji's such a good guy, man. Like, that's why I'm like, the thing. Are you afraid of death? Yes, who isn't? You know, like there's just a bit too much there that Benji is going to be in the line of fire in 8. And it's I'm a bit nervous. But
that's because I mean I feel like you're right. I didn't think of this like detachment from the entity in Gabriel. I kind of thought that no, Gabriel, like he's using, or the entity is using Gabriel to its, his fullest potential, whatever, and they are just aligned. But like, no, I think it calculates also what Gabriel will do and what he wants to do. Yeah. And it's just, it's like, maybe this is just the fastest way to get whatever the entity truly wants, or something. And
the other thing is that the entity, what's so fucking cool about the entity is it calculated who its biggest fucking threat would be. And it was Ethan Hunt. So it targeted Ethan Hunt specifically from the jump. The fact that from the get-go, the entity's like, well, the most dangerous man alive is Ethan Hunt. So I've got to figure out a way. That's the only reason Gabriel works with the entity. The entity recruited Gabriel. It's not like it's not like Gabriel found it. The entity found Gabriel and was like, you are perfect because you killed somebody that Ethan cares about. That's, I think that's what makes the entity so interesting, is that like its all-knowing nature makes for just really tense, incredible sequences. Like the sequence where Ilsa dies. I love that part of the movie. That part of the movie, whenever Tom Cruise is running through the alleyways in Venice, he ends up running into Paris and the other henchmen, and they fight on that bridge for a while. Benji starts chasing him down on a boat. Like, there's just so much going on. We're building to something, and it had notes of that first mission failed in MI1, like that's a
abort. Yeah, that was like the first time you hear that. I don't know, like, when was the last time that we heard,
I think it was the first movie.
Yeah. So, man, that is, it had tones of everything, that's for sure. Like, the action was there. That's for like they've gotten it down. This one looked really good too. I don't know. It feels like
I love the way this looks. This is also, fun fact, this is just another layer for you. The first film in the Mission Impossible franchise shot digitally.
Oh. Wow, yeah. Not film. Interesting.
Yeah, which is 100% purposeful, like it has the digital sheen. Like that's a brilliant move, I think, to shoot it digitally, because you don't get the same warmth that film provides.
Yeah,
it is cold. It's distant almost. I love it, and they do compensate for that a lot with trying to replicate Brian De Palma's visual sensibility to the best of their ability. They can't, but they try. We got a lot more. We get a lot more of those Dutch angles that we haven't seen since MI1.
That's true.
We get a lot more of that bluish hue that you like saw in the background of the restaurant sequence and stuff with the entity and everything. Like there's definitely a certain influence that the first one had filmmaking wise, more on this one than it has had on any other movie.
When did John Wick 4 come out? Is that pre or post this?
That is pre by about a month.
Yeah.
2 months. 3 months?
Okay.
I think it was probably 3 or 4 months, because I think it was March 2023.
I don't know why I have, like, this movie it just has elements of Indiana Jones and John Wick. Like Paris feels like is a slot
Right out of
into
a
the John Wick universe.
Right out of a John Wick movie.
For sure.
I mean, yeah, and those movies came out in the same year, John Wick 4 and MI7. You know, we've got a couple of sequences in the desert sands. You know,
that's true.
That we got a couple sequences in nightclubs, parties at giant clubs that don't feel like they could actually happen, but they're super cool. So fuck it.
Yeah.
The
MacGuffin too seemed pretty indie. Like, hey, two halves of a key that we don't even know truly what the goal is. We'll figure that out too.
Only
you
thing
know, it's
that can authenticate one half of the key is the other true half of the key. Incredible. Like I that's why I do think this is one that gets better with more watches. You know, like I said, I watched it fresh out of the theater. I was like, yes, I fucking love this movie. One of my favorites. I watched it a second time. I was like, okay, outside the theater, I'm a little removed. You know, I've heard other people's opinions. I've kind of gotten a chance to digest the general critique of this movie, and I get it. But this time I was like, fuck it, man. This movie rules. Like, I think that ultimately what it comes down to is that the amount of heart it has might surpass every other movie. You know, just there's a line, and you took it down as your favorite line also, that is just probably the line of the franchise. That whole scene, whenever they are recruiting Haley Atwell, they're recruiting Grace, they're like, join us, you know, you choose us, you choose to accept the mission, and they're like, oh, and she's like, oh, you can protect me. Is that it? You know, like Gabriel said at the club, you know, he'll promise he can protect you because that's what he does, but he'll cast you aside and all that stuff. And Ving Rhames is like, yeah. And he goes, no, I can't promise that. And that's immediately something the AI doesn't anticipate. You know, like, no, I can't promise you that. You know, but what I can promise you, I promise you, your life will always mean more to me than my own. And I almost go with Haley Atwell for performance simply for the reaction to that line.
Oh my Lord!
Her eyes immediately welling up with tears. The kind of shock, like, you don't even know who I am. What difference does it make, dude? You've got to be fucking kidding me! Like, I've got chills talking about that line. It just, it's so heroic, and I know it's not breaking the wheel. It's not reinventing anything. It's not like that's some unfounded or unexistent sentiment that we've never seen before, but God, putting it so succinctly is just so perfect. I adore it, and I think that it obviously makes Ethan Hunt the character.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I feel like, and this is the theme here. It just works, and it's like, it putting it, like, reading it in the text box of, like, just the line. People could be like, no, this is corny, I feel like. But I feel like I might be a broken record in this, but I feel like Mission Impossible takes the corniness and makes it good. It does. This is the good corny that, I don't know, I feel like I might have come to the realization that corny isn't even real at all. It's actually just more of like you're afraid
it's
to
all
accept.
A matter of perspective.
Yeah, it's like that, I don't know, instead of just looking at it that way. But yeah, this the concept, everything that's going on here, the story that's going on, it feels like this would be like kind of my movie, or the one that was made for me. I mean, I think it might just be coming off of the last one, coming off of Fallout. Fallout was just so fucking over the top. It was unbelievable. It was just kind of peak. But if I didn't watch Fallout and I jumped straight to this, instant 5, like, it's like, this is the 10 of the franchise. You're like, this is the peak, and this is what it's all been leading towards, sort of thing. So it is this weird back and forth of like, Fallout, yes, I do like it more.
There's no doubt that Fallout makes this one not look as good, in my opinion. You know, I do agree with that, and I think part of that is that Fallout had conclusion energy. Like, if Fallout had been the last Mission Impossible movie, it would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it would have been a great ending. You know, like there is, and it would have been a sweet ending, a soft ending. Everybody wins. There's nothing. Now we're barreling towards a sad ending. You know, like if we end this franchise happily ever after, everyone's okay, I will be astonished. You know,
That's true. Yeah, probably not going to
and
happen.
that's what I love about the Entity as a villain, is that for the very first time, I do feel like Ethan Hunt might not live.
Yeah, he's actually outmatched. Like, it's
Yeah.
like they're how.
And,
but he will find a way, though. You know,
exactly.
He's gonna
I'm
find
not. I'm
a
not
way.
in a place where I'm like, I don't think he'll finish. No, he'll win. You know, I'm still confident in that he'll win. He just might die doing it. You know, like that. They're doing the whole "your life will always mean more to me than my own. We live and die in the shadows. For those we hold close, and for those we may never meet."
No.
Are
Are they gonna Captain America him? Are they gonna have him
Trapped in
get the
ice.
source code? And he's like, the only way to actually get rid of this is to go in the Mariana fucking I don't know, somewhere unreachable, and he just has to make the sacrifice and have it down there. Something I don't know. But then why keep it? Why not just destroy it? I guess
you're also free to watch the MI8 trailer.
That's true. And I can actually dissect it and actually look into it. Yeah, that's gonna
there
be fun.
are
That's gonna be fun.
shots in that terrify me. Yeah, just like
That's. Is he in the water? I feel it, or was that a
Yep,
different? Okay,
yep.
so
There's
he
multiple.
is in the
like
water.
that's why
Yeah.
for me, I'm making a prediction. I think we start next movie with him getting into the Sevastopol. I think that's. I don't think they have trouble finding it. I don't know how to make that cinematic. Maybe that is the journey. Maybe it is like half the movie is finding the Sevastopol. Maybe that's where the culmination of the movie is. I don't think so though. I think we get there pretty quick. And it's kind of a similar situation to kind of like Fallout, where you know you think things are going bad, and then we get it all. We you know the plutonium hasn't actually fallen into the wrong hands, all that good stuff. You know, similar to that. But I don't know. I obviously don't know. But I think that we could be dealing with something where the real threat isn't even actually at the Sevastopol. Like we are actually going somewhere else after, and that's completely unfounded. I don't know, but
please tell me it's actually that the United States government made this and that they thought they could control it, but it just got out of hand. And this is the United States government has been just slowly trying to like scrape up and like trying to fix it, but realize like once it's out sort of thing. Because that's the only thing that isn't clicking for me is that like, why is this one Russian submarine, or is it even Russian? I don't even know what submarine it is.
It was a Russian submarine.
Yeah, okay. So like, why is this one Russian submarine the most important thing? Why is that the secret?
Well, they mention during the opening monologue, this submarine went under and around every navy in the world and went completely undetected.
True.
Which I think is what makes it important. That like it is the perfect stealth submarine. It went near every navy in the world. Nobody ever saw it. It is a very, very powerful weapon. But the true weapon is at the heart. You know, like
So yeah, is it that the submarine was already stealth-like, and then they put the weapon in there because of that, or like, so the weapon is the entity, or like the weapon is something that's just in the sub that the entity was then put into, or like.
They do kind of say that the entity got out of hand.
Yeah, it woke up. Oh, it woke up.
It woke up. It was not supposed to do
became
that.
Sentient. That's right.
Yeah.
So
what it was supposed to do was sabotage this submarine, reveal itself to them so that they could find it and destroy it probably. But the entity went ahead and took advantage of what it could and just decided it saw the opportunity to free itself potentially. That's why I think opening the Sevastopol, like, the safest thing is to fucking leave it there and nobody ever touch it. We've just got to figure out a way to destroy it now.
Well, is that like... because I think now at least is like it was this program that was just kind of in the background, kind of like a original Tron thing where it's like, hey, get rid of all the bad, and then it's like, oh, actually, I wake up now and I'll do everything because this being in this submarine, it's like this is the perfect home for it. You know, it can't be found anywhere. It's completely. I guess my mix-up is like now that it's out, now that it is out in the world, does it still need the Sevastopol or whatever to stay alive? You know, is it like once that's destroyed, is it dead, or is it like an Ultron
that's why
thing? Where
I really think I have trouble figuring out if Gabriel just wants the key so bad so that he has it, so that nobody can. That's why I'm like, there has to be more with the key that our heroes don't understand. You know? Like, I think unlocking it causes a bigger problem than keeping it locked. You know? Like, that. At least that's how I look at it right now. I don't know why that is. It's just that.
Because, like, the guys at the beginning, they activated it, right?
Yeah.
Like we saw it turn on. Like so like but is this a normal thing that it's like I don't know. It seemed like this was a they weren't doing it because out of a reaction to anything. It was just like, oh, we're updating the source code. I don't know. It's like
yeah, well, and that's the thing is that they're also not in control of what they think is the entity. They're in control of a different AI that the United States government imbues with the entity, and thus everything goes haywire, you know?
That's true. So it's really whatever the U.S. government's kind of cooking in the background, it feels like. Like, this is the British intelligence had the syndicate, and they had, you know, making all the ghosts and everything like that, but I feel like now this is the U.S.'s, like, bad, you know, this is like, oops,
These are
we
the
kind of
skeletons in our closet here, as far as the modern intelligence community.
Yeah, because it feels, at least if we're at the movie opens in the submarine, I feel like they destroy it, and then it's like, oh, we think we're done, you know, it's like, oh, we did it, we destroyed the source code, and then it's like, oh, no, it sends a, I'm still here, or like, hello, you know, hello.
Well, and that's why I'm like, I could be very, very wrong. Maybe the entirety of the first half of the movie is spent trying to find the Sevastopol however they can. I just don't know what that would entail. Like, as far as making it cinematic, this search for a submarine that's on the bottom of the ocean, like, it's just a bunch of scouring the ocean. I don't, like, who do you ask? Everybody who was on it died.
Yeah, they have to, so they're gonna have to somehow find a submarine that was impossible to find in the first place, that has also been blown up and at the bottom of the ocean. And I think it's really interesting that, instead of, like, because the AI could have just sabotaged the submarine and just, I don't know, blown it up from the inside, whatever, but it needed the people with the keys to flood out and float to the top so that the keys could be found. So, like, it destroyed the submarine in a perfect way just to suck those people out and have them go up to, like, the surface. So it's like it needed the submarine to be destroyed, but not fully.
Like, it needs the keys, man, because that would have been, it would have been optimal, actually, in theory, if it doesn't need to be unlocked ever, to just cripple the submarine and have it sink. You know, like, just
it does feel like this sub needs to be active, or like that the red ball, whatever that fucking, you know,
the Rehoboam ass shit.
Yes, the is exactly. Yeah, it's like why do they all just have this spherical, like, bomb looking thing, but it's just a computer
bomb sort of
vibe,
it's like
nuclear bomb computer AI. Yeah, but I feel like they just, like, once you destroy that, it feels like it'd be done. But I think because it's already sunken its way into every system and everything, that, like, maybe it won't be as powerful. It doesn't have the supercomputer, but then it just accesses every other supercomputer on Earth. It's like, all right, I'll use Google's and Apple's and Facebook. I'll just use every single one of them. So it's like, has it already become even more powerful, but it just hasn't told anyone? You know, it's like,
that's
it's
why
just
I'm like,
doing so much.
That's what I'm so curious about, is what is it planning? You know, what is the goal here? Because I have to imagine it either has the capability to do anything it wants,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just not, which, why?
Yeah.
Or it needs the keys to do whatever it wants. And it actually, whenever it just touched everything, it couldn't do anything more. You know?
Maybe that is it. Maybe the submarine is truly its only brain, or like its true like heart, and it has to outsort, kind of like it always has to start from there. But once the key, maybe when you unlock it, that is just like, that's your way of being like, all right, now you can truly go anywhere. Like, you aren't just confined to this one computer. Maybe it's like, yeah, but then why not just let?
But that's the thing.
Humans...
It's already not confined to one computer, which is what's really confusing.
Fuck. I'm too into the technical weeds of it. I think I need to just think of it as more of the story beats that I think they're going to go for, which is like, the cold, emotionless calculation versus this weird instinct that humans have to save. It's like this thing that even we can't explain, sort of thing. And I feel like that's going to be the root of the next movie, and I hope it's like a likeness of Tom Cruise. Like, I hope there is something where it tries to replicate Ethan in some way, but it can't quite get it. Like I hope that there's like a Benji or a Ving Rhames scene where they're like, oh, you're not Ethan. It's like they are the only ones who know, and it's for no other reason because they know who Ethan is. Yeah, and so I don't know, I guess, technically how, the entity will get out or what the keys do, but I feel like I don't know. I'm with you that the submarine part feels very opening-esque, because usually the things in the trailers are the opening of the movie, or like it happens very quickly and it's like, all right, now you've seen what the shit is. Well, that's the other thing.
We do a lot in this trailer with Tom Cruise riding on the outside of a plane and all that good stuff again.
That's true. Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, maybe that's in the process of trying to find the Sevastopol, but it also feels like that could be the final battle where he's trying to take down the guy after things have already gone to shit, kind of. I don't know. Like, it's I don't know. There's just a lot of directions we could go, and I'm willing to trust Ethan Hunt one last time.
That's fair. He'll figure it out. He will figure it out. I love that it's like, that's the line they just come back to. It's like,
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. She's like, what? And Haley Atwell being scared, grabbing onto him, like, everything. It's like, I need you to let me go. Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, it's like, I will say, the opening, the desert sequence, it's cool, and it's like, it is like action packed, whatever, but like, it was just kind of hard to tell who was who a lot of times. And it was kind of like, it was just so chaotic that, like, as far as the openings go, I feel like this is one of the weaker openings of a movie.
It also doesn't concern itself so much with opening in a badass way, more just setting, like, literally setting up the entity is more the opening.
Yeah. I guess the desert, that's not truly the when does the title sequence go in this one? I feel like it's another late one, like a really long.
It is a long opening
for this one. Because it is in the submarine, them blowing up, and then Ilsa on the run, having the key, finding her, and then she's dead in air quotes, and then I think that's when the title is whenever it fades from there, maybe, But yeah, this I don't know. I think the end of this one, even though it isn't the true ending, I'm still like, this is, I don't know. They've come to a point where it's so much more than just the end of the movie, and it's like the legend of the character. That's why, I don't know, I keep kind of bringing up Indy and all these things. I think it's just, no matter what, if you're going to have a franchise, like, you have to honor the character that made it all. It's like, you have to. And this, I think they do it better than Indy. Like, I think they keep honoring, like, with that nervous IMF agent at the beginning. I think that's a perfect way to kind of give Ethan this legendary status without fully, like, acknowledging it, like, in
being like, you're a legend, break. You're Ethan Hunt.
So it's like they do little things like that, or the new people joining in the squad not knowing the game, and it's like, oh yeah, no, hope is all we have, and all this stuff. It's all of these little things that if I were to just watch this movie without all the rest of them before it, it'd still be good. It's still a great action movie, and you still get everything that's going on, I feel like. But what gets me to tear up, or what gets me, like, that one Haley Atwell line, or whenever he's talking to her, like, I just started, like, out of nowhere. Like, it was just like, oh my God.
It hits you the way it hits Haley Atwell.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's what's so fucking good. And the other thing is that, like, we know he means it because of 6 movies of evidence. She knows he means it also, but she doesn't have the context for it. Like, that's why it hits her so fucking hard, is because she can tell he is being 100% real with her. And I think that's, like, yeah, it's not lying. There's nothing, he's not trying to exploit her. He's being real. He's being genuine, like, I will do.
Sincerity, yeah.
There's also that, whenever he breaks down her, like, past, and, you know, she's an orphan. She didn't have anybody. There was nobody who looked out for her. She's alone, you know, all that stuff. And then having someone being like, your life will always matter to me more than my own. Like, that's good shit, man. I think that there's like, that's why I really love Haley Atwell's Grace. Like I mentioned, I think that her and Tom Cruise have just ridiculous chemistry. Not Rebecca Ferguson Cruise chemistry, but a different kind of good chemistry. You know, I think that from the moment they bump into each other at the airport and Cruise does the sleight of hand and stuff, like, it's good, man. And then, like, whenever she shows up to Italy and her lawyer's there and she sees the lighter on the table, that's the good shit. And the car chase, all of that. There's just so much movie here. The fact that this is the longest by a lot is wild.
Oh my God, it was 2 hours. Holy shit. Yeah, I guess it was a late. Yeah, I did end it quite late in the night. So
it's a 2 hour and 43-minute movie, man. That's a long fucking movie, and it does not feel that way. And that's why I think that this franchise, man, it just hits in a way that I can't personally compare to any other. There are definitely ones that I enjoy more, you know, that I love more. But when it comes to, you know, I've watched this franchise beginning to end 3 times. Once a year, I watch it at the pace that I'm going. I don't do that with any other franchise that I actually love, though, either. You know, like, I don't watch all 9 Star Wars movies whenever I watch Star Wars. I don't watch all 4 Matrix movies whenever I watch The Matrix. I don't watch all 5 Indiana Jones movies whenever I rewatch Raiders of the Lost Ark. Whenever I rewatch Mission Impossible, I end up watching all of the Mission Impossible movies. Which is it's strange. I don't know how to quantify that. I whenever I watch Alien, I don't end up watching all the Alien movies. You know, it's a weird thing where once I watch Mission Impossible, I go, I'm going to watch all of these, aren't I? You know, it's it's just that electric.
Connected. It's like they're all, every franchise, they're all connected. And it's like they all build off each other. They all, you know, get better because of it over time. So, like, well, yeah, what is the difference? Is it, you know, maybe it's why we love Star Wars so much, is that it is just, at the end of the day, you know, pretty corny. It's the David versus Goliath. It's the Empire versus the, you know, the weak, and just insurmountable odds. And I feel like that's all Mission Impossible is, but it's just on Earth. I don't know. It's like, this isn't, you know, we might have some tech that is out there, but, like, even the crazy tech, it's like, well, if you know, if we had an actual spy agency like this might be real. There's never anything in these movies that, like, gets me to be like, oh, now we're on a fucking different planet, or like, okay, now this is a branch timeline. It's like, it's this weird middle ground of real, but also the highest stakes it could possibly be on Earth at the same time. And it's like, yeah, I don't know why, but if I were to watch one of these movies, it feels wrong. But any other franchise that I love, I can single out and just watch Revenge of the Sith, or just watch Empire.
And maybe that's just the benefit of time. You know, like, maybe I've just loved Star Wars for so long that now I can jump into any movie like it's nothing, and that's fine. You know,
true.
But I'll tell you what, when it comes to, like, indie, I don't single out any other movie besides Raiders. Maybe The Last Crusade. but I don't have enough evidence to tell you that I do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this franchise, I literally have never singled out a single movie besides Mission Impossible, the first Mission Impossible, once, and it was the day before I saw Dead Reckoning in theaters. You know, like that was what I wanted to do. I was like, I'm gonna watch the first one and then the most recent one. This time I will be rewatching Dead Reckoning when we recording wise, we are a month away from seeing Mission Impossible 8. So like we actually outpaced ourselves a little bit. Like we probably should have done this a little closer, but like I will be rewatching Dead Reckoning probably the day that we go see the final Reckoning.
Yeah,
like I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, it'll be my first theater view. That's like still hitting. That's still, I'm gonna see one of these on the big screen for the first time, and it might be the last one. So I'm definitely glad or at least Tom's last one.
They're doing something with this one that definitely feels like there's a future for Grace. I don't know. And I don't know if I'm reading that wrong, if it's just that she's going to be an MI8 and that's that. But they're building something there, it feels like. Another fun thing about MI8, one of our favorites, is going to be in it. Katie O'Brien is in MI8. She'll be in the final Reckoning, which I'm very, very excited about. I love Katie O'Brien.
Ooh, she's going to fit like a glove, dude.
Yeah, when it comes to just the drop-dead gorgeous women who are all over this franchise, she's just the perfect addition.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's going to be nice. I wonder, let's see. Oh, Nick Offerman? That's cool.
Nick Offerman. I believe Erica Sloan is back with Angela Bassett. There's a picture of Angela Bassett on the wall in the meeting that Tom Cruise gasses. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, on the wall
in front of an American flag. Indicates to me that we might be looking at President Erica Sloan. I think.
Whoa.
That's. I didn't notice that until this watch, by the way. That there it's a picture on the wall in that office of Erica Sloan.
That's because why else? I mean, they are in some intelligence building. I feel like they might be in the CIA because like that room of just people writing or like whatever.
Yeah, they're transferring it all to be analog before they can't trust their information.
Yeah, that's sick. That was kind of sick. So yeah, I wonder if that's just like a CIA headquarters. It wasn't like Sloan. Is she like direct or whatever the highest position is? She was in
CIA. I think she was in the CIA.
She was something. She was high up. It feels like definitely. I don't know, but it didn't feel like she was the highest up though. Well,
no, she wasn't. She actually repeatedly refers to the president as the president in Fallout.
That's true.
Like the president
it's like,
agrees
the president's
with me.
on my side. Yeah. Okay, fair. But maybe through, she, how much time has passed? I wonder if like, if this is, I don't know. She just was the next elected president. Just after,
probably,
maybe if it has been 4 years or not, I don't know. Or if the term was, I don't know. It could have been up right then and there. If it is mirroring the real, I guess I don't know how real they're getting there. But okay, yeah. I wonder.
Yeah, got a little President Sloan, I think, coming up at us, but
because she was always
I
good,
loved that meeting, by the way. That meeting is incredible because they're like, all right, Mark Gaddis is speaking. You're immediately like, fuck yeah. The next guy they show is Charles Parnell, who you're immediately like, fuck yeah, let's go. The next person to show up on screen is Carrie Elwes, and you're like, yeah, come on now, baby. The next person is Indira Varma, who we love. I'm like, let's fucking go. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Game of Thrones, let's get it. And then they're like, Kittredge, baby, how about you? How about Rob Delaney over here? It's crazy the amount of people who are just like, yeah, I'll come in and do this one scene in Mission Impossible. It's fucking incredible. I love it. And
then Ethan just who was Ethan strolling in as? Is that, I feel like that
somebody
dude was
who works for
familiar.
Kittredge.
I don't know why. Like what I've seen the real life actor in.
You've not seen the real life actor in anything.
Interesting. I don't know. He just had a weird fit.
He reminds you of Leland.
You might be right. Because, yeah, it wasn't like an instant, like, oh, I know that guy in something. It's like, he looks like something. I don't know.
No,
He just looks...
He reminds you of Leland. He's got the blonde hair and the weird, the weird looking face. Not to be offensive or anything, but like he looks like Ray Wise. He looks a lot like Ray Wise.
You might have
no, I love, and the fact that they are, during that sequence, they're also building up how the entity, that humans are the weak link in the chain, and that there could be humans working for the entity, and then you see that person walk in and all, and then the unmasking. It's Cruise. It fucking rules. I love. And then Henry Czerny mask acting as Tom Cruise acting like Henry Czerny whenever he shoots himself.
Wait.
At the end of that opening sequence. Kittredge. Whenever Tom Cruise puts on the Kittredge mask. But Henry Czerny's like his little smirk and then shooting him. Perfect Tom Cruise shit there.
Yeah, because that's not actually fucking Tom Cruise. Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, that's
so
right.
Good.
Duh.
And then, furthermore, I think Vanessa Kirby might do the best mask acting there is in this franchise. She is perfect as Haley Atwell acting as Vanessa Kirby. You know?
Wait, yeah. How do I just actually think that's her? That's so wild. I mean, yeah, she did the job. That's insane. Like, her eyes did they do something to her eyes?
Yes, they did. She has brown eyes because Haley Atwell has brown eyes.
Okay. And then, so it is just that simple then. Because I was like, it felt like maybe it was just that. Maybe that change alone was so big. I thought someone might have noticed it, I guess, or brought it up. But, I mean, they did notice it wasn't her at the end,
They did the little fake out,
where it's,
you're not Alana Mitsopoulos.
Yeah,
okay. The Alana Mitsopoulos I remember was the Yay Hi. Oh, Paris. Yeah, no, it's good stuff. You've changed, and you never will. It's really good. Yeah, I like that.
It's like hitting me now that's not Haley Atwell sitting there. Like that's actually
is Vanessa Kirby.
What the hell?
She's an incredible actor, man. Like that's why I'm like, it might be genuinely the best mask act. It's also probably the most prolonged mask acting anybody's had to do.
Man, yeah, that is drawn out too. Yeah, and very important for the I don't know what decision. Wow, that's. Man, it's crazy that's just hitting me right now, and it's only a test to how good.
The only other line delivery that comes close as far as mask acting is concerned is in MI3 whenever they pull up to the sewer vent. The sewer vent, and it opens, and Ving Rhames is down there, and Philip Seymour Hoffman looks down and goes, "Sup?" As Ethan Hunt. It's so fucking good. I love it.
So yeah, you did that was spot on for Philip Seymour Hoffman, by the way. There, I don't know. It sounded like you just played the soundbite and saying it, but man, yeah, no, this is. Oh man, it's crazy that I am still so satisfied, but I am lost as to where the next movie's going, but also I don't know. I feel like there's just so many pathways it can go down, and I'm wondering how fourth wall breaky it'll be with AI and recreating likeness. I feel like knowing truth or knowing when something's genuine will be, I hope, at least a big story element here, or when Ethan is saying that line. And I will put my life in front of yours always, and she knows immediately that cannot be I don't know, there was through the tone of his voice, through just who he, through everything that we just know as humans, she knows that this is genuine. But if there was some carbon copy, Ultron-esque version of Ethan Hunt trying to say this, she would know. I don't know. There's even if it tried to hit every emotion that it, thinks that is genuine, whatever, I feel like there's still something off. There is this uncanny valley of things that just aren't human. And we are just very good at detecting those. I don't know that. So I hope that's brought up, or I hope that AI and they do this kind of battle with it, because who better to fan the or like hold the candle than Tom Cruise, like someone who undoubtedly is going to try to be recreated and like just if we don't have to pay this man millions and millions of dollars to do these crazy stunts and we can just here you go whip him up on a computer and do anything we want, like a company sees that as dollar signs, out the wazoo, but I don't know. I would anyone go to see that is the interesting question. But yeah, this man, I don't know. I'm so glad that I finally got here. That I'm like, it's pissing me off that it did take me this long to watch all these movies, and I only have a month, to just have it sit and before the new one comes out. But I don't know. I guess at the same time, what better time to kind of to watch all of these right in a row, and then have the first theater experience for hopefully the big shebang of it all. But yeah, this guy Tom Cruise, I don't know. I do and I don't want to know what his secret is to how he does it for so long. But it's
lots of money. Lots of money, baby.
That's
lots
true.
of money.
I guess does make the world go round. From
generations of money. Yeah, it's a lot of moolah he's got in his pockets. But yeah, no, man, I adore it. I adore this movie. I adore this franchise. I cannot wait for next week. So excited to see it opening night, come home, record a podcast on it, put it out, release day of the movie. That's what we've got lined up right now. It'll be available as soon as everybody wants to go see it, which is very cool. But
maybe we'll be too in shock. I don't know. Maybe it'll just be an hour of silence. It's just we won't even know what to say. Who knows what's going down. But
the final reckoning is here, baby.
It sounds. I don't know. I feel like the AI will win, and it will be 99.9% to achieving its goal. But then Ethan, he has to sacrifice himself. I feel like that's like right. Like I don't know. It feels like this
character won't stop until he dies. So yeah.
I feel like this must be the only way. He sees the only way, and it has to be actually sacrificing his life, put your money where your mouth is sort of thing. But he'll do it instant. It's not even like if I think he'll do it, he will do it. It's just
he will.
If the situation calls for it, is more of what I'm worried for. Yeah, I hope it's not Benji. It's weird. I hope Tom Cruise dies and not Simon Pegg. Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's
which is bizarre, but it's real. I don't know why that's the case. It's just like Tom Cruise is so much like, and again, I have no doubt Benji would also die for his friends. Like it's not like it's not like I think that Benji would like begrudgingly be like, oh no, I guess I have to. No, he would do it, and he'd do it without question. I just don't think Benji should be put in a situation like that. I think that Ethan continuously puts himself in situations like that. That's why it also makes perfect sense that Benji would be the one to do it, which is the horrifying part. Yeah. Ethan might be about to sacrifice himself to save Benji, but then Benji sacrifices himself to save Ethan. No, that's we're in for it, man. We're in for it. I expect that MI8 will make me cry. The 6 and 7 both do. We're on a good streak here.
True.
Not quite as many tears in 7, but definitely a couple tear ups.
Yeah, the line here, hey, that was one. I feel like I did cry up. I don't know. There was I guess Ilsa.
Yeah, Ilsa dying is definitely,
that was tough.
And you don't think we're building to any sort of reveal there, right?
What, that she's
like
actually
that wasn't
not
actually
dead?
Ilsa or anything like that.
Oh. Yeah, who could it have been? Someone died there.
There are a lot of people who are in denial about that not being Ilsa.
Stay dead.
I think.
Maybe. But
they could do something. They don't do anything in this movie to justify it, though. Like it, as far as what this movie provides you with information, that is Ilsa Faust, and she is dead. You know, like that's why I'm like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no, we're getting a mask reveal, baby, because I have no idea who the fuck it would be. Why would she not be in the rest of this movie? I don't know. There's a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
and emotionally, it just hits the fucking spot whenever we get that mirroring image where they hugged up on the top of the building. This is my first time in Venice. Mine too. Oh. And then they hug, and then we get that shot of him after she dies in the same spot with his head down, and it's all gray and shit. Yeah, that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even think of her coming back, but she does have a tendency to do that. So I don't know. I won't completely.
No, I'm not like I will outwardly be like mad if she does, you know, because I won't be. I'll be eternally grateful because I love Rebecca Ferguson and Ilsa Faust. But I don't think there's any reason to believe she will, you know.
Yeah, unless it's some play. You know, we have to do exactly
like
what
we're
the
trying
AI
to fool
thinks,
the entity.
You know, yeah. So
I think it is right before that Luther says, like, in order to beat it, you have to start thinking
that's
like
true.
It, you know, like
that's true. You have to start playing with lives as if they're nothing, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe they did whip up something then and there, but
That's why I'm like it would be tough because I don't know. I don't know who you swap her for. I don't know anything like, and like, who are you willing to sacrifice in that sort of capacity? Yeah. Why would she be the only one who's masked and flipped? I don't know. Like, there's just a lot of like. That's why I'm like, she's dead. And I'm confident in that. Unless they do a big flashback where they explain that entire sequence in a different way, she's dead.
Yeah, because then whoever's in the mask would have to want to be on the mission as well, and still, I don't know, make that sacrifice, actually. Unless there's no way it's some like tech, you know, where you save your heart from being stabbed, you know, sort of.
No,
like,
yeah.
I don't. I
like,
think, it's like
she's dead, man. That's why I'm like, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
And I love that line at the party too, where he's like, where he says, if you touch either one of them, there's no place in the world you will go where I can't find you.
Yeah, bro said, or your God. Yeah, he said, there's no place you and your God will be safe. So Ethan, like, I know he's referring to the entity, and like that's
Tom Cruise, God killer. Yeah,
but yeah, he has, you know, then in this line ascended to God. Yeah, God killer, or on the God level, which I would have given him. You know, this
I would have. I gotta give it to him.
You know, goddamn, if there's any divine human on Earth in this universe, it's Ethan Hunt.
You know, I mean, the entity registered it, so you know, it was like,
oh, I gotta worry
anybody
about
who
this
could
guy.
fuck me up, it's this guy.
This is priority number one, right here. Yeah. Ooh, if Gabriel is the vessel for, you know, the entity. Just Ethan is the vessel for just hope and just good, I don't know, good luck and the good side sort of thing. Yeah, they are going kind of biblical. It felt like, you know, pretty hardcore. The key,
the archangel,
the whole fallen, bunch of Judas, you know, the betrayal. You know, he did tell me I would betray you, sort of thing. It's like so maybe, you know, maybe that's a little foreshadowy. I don't know if just. Tom,
the resurrection.
Yeah, Tom is literally going to sacrifice himself, but somehow, be brought back to life with AI. No, it's actually going to be a bad resurrection. I don't know. Yeah, now I'm going crazy down the religion rabbit
That's why I'm
hole.
like, I don't know what to expect, and that's what I love about where we're at, is that I have no idea. I have no idea where we're going, and there's kind of something awesome about that. I have an idea. We're going to the Sevastopol. Beyond that, no fucking clue, and that rocks. So I'm so excited. We got Palm Clementif. She's still got a pulse. So here's hoping. She'll be back. Katie O'Brien adding to the collection. Haley Atwell's going to be in there. Tom Cruise, of course. Simon Pegg, of course. Ving Rhames, of course. The only thing that I'm so curious about is, do you think we see Michelle Monaghan again as Julia? Or was Fallout kind of the perfect way to part ways with Julia.
Like she has her life. She's happy.
Yeah, it's over.
She's like,
you
she
know?
accepted.
But
Ilsa,
is there any chance the entity puts her in the line of fire again? Is kind of where I don't think she'd just like randomly re-enter. I think it would be that the entity, Gabriel, the entity.
I mean, if Ethan is like priority number one for the entity, then the best thing to go after is everyone he cares about. And like, I feel that's the danger, is like, it's either that Ethan dies and makes the sacrifice, or everyone one by one is slowly picked off. And it's like, it's either them or Ethan, and Ethan is going to make the sacrifice for them every time, but then the other person flips and does is like, no, I have to, Ethan has to be the one to continue on, sort of thing.
Right,
so
like our only chance. Yeah, it's dangerous. We're in scary territory. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I don't have much else to say about Dead Reckoning. I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready for the finale next week. I cannot wait. I can't believe we're here. I'm excited. So I'm going to do the plugs, and then we can rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10. If you would, leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. I would appreciate it greatly. We've seen some funny reviews on our other podcasts and stuff lately that it's always real funny to see people's different perspectives. We would like a rate and review no matter what you're going to give us. We would prefer a 5, but the more ratings we have, the more popular the show is, so it doesn't matter. I would prefer 5s though, if possible. 4 or 5, great. If anything lower than that, I would prefer that you left a review. I'd like to know why.
Constructive criticism. We can always
constructive,
improve.
Constructive, please. That's all you can do right now. You can subscribe on YouTube, The Cinementalists, spelt the way it is here. We'll be back next week with MI8, and we'll be back all through June with a Pride Month celebration. Bunch of queer movies. Very, very excited for that. We are currently doing Fire Pod with Me, a Twin Peaks podcast. Very, very happy with that. We are into season 2 now, and it is going swimmingly. If you've never seen Twin Peaks, it's the show for you. If you have seen Twin Peaks, it's the show for you. You just got to watch the show and listen along with us. It's friendly to the rewatcher and the first-time viewer alike. So go ahead and check that out. We've got a little bit. We covered The Last of Us a little bit on the Penny Bloom podcast, which it's been a while since we've done anything over there. But we did Daredevil Born Again, and now we're doing The Last of Us in chunks. And I believe that the finale of The Last of Us will be. Might have been earlier this week. If not, it will be next week. But one way or another,
it's quite in. Yeah,
so
I can't confirm. But
we're near the end of The Last of Us, and we've been covering it. So you should check that out on Penny Bloom podcast. But so that's everything. Check those out. Leave 5-star rate and review. Share with a friend. If you have a friend who's never seen the Mission Impossible movies, tell them they should watch the Mission Impossible movies. Like, what the fuck? We're a week away from the new one. Get them in the know. Let's do this shit. But, let's rate Dead Reckoning on a scale of 1 to 10. How are you feeling?
Well, I don't think I'm quite at the 10 I was at Fallout. I know
either.
that. It's not Fallout. It's, 1 is 9.5. And is it quite 1? Does it quite live up to the 1? It's not. It is very in the modern world. It is digital, which is interesting to know now. So it's not the look that I prefer, but I did say that it did look better than last movies. So like there is benefits to it, obviously.
Oh yeah.
To go digital,
I don't think I personally don't think it's quite as well made as 1. I still don't think that there's any movie that's quite as well made as 1.
Yeah. So
but.
I guess there's the ceiling, and we don't have a single just flat 9. We have an 8.88, that we gave Rogue Nation. Almost got the 9. You gave it the 9. I think this is the closest there. Like it's either a 9 or a 9.25. I feel like it just isn't quite MI1.
I agree with that.
So yeah, I don't. I think. I don't know. The flat 9 or the 2.5er is
2.5 bump is where you're considering.
Either
way, I'm comfortable giving it a 9 out of 10. I really, really enjoy what this movie brings to the table. I think that it's close to being the best, but there's just a couple that are too good to deny.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 out of 10 is a great fucking movie, and I think that's what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, I think this is, I don't know, the ranking, it's weird that, like, right now, I can't see my ranking ever changing. Like, it feels like I have seen him through, only with 8, wherever 8 slots in. But, like, as of right now, I don't know. In this moment, I feel like, how can the ranking ever change for me?
I feel that way now as well.
Yeah. And I guess doing a podcast, breaking the movies down to every little detail helps. I don't think that is the normal rundown that people do.
No, it is not. I think I didn't feel assured because my ranking has never really changed in any major capacity, Like, my bottom 2 were always 3 and 2.
Yeah.
One way or another. The next 2 were always 4 or 5. Don't know which order. My 3 has been Dead Reckoning, and my top 2 were Fallout and the first one way or another. Now I feel it is comfortably Fallout, MI1, Dead Reckoning, Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol, 3, 2. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I mean, I think I am spot on there. Just kind of, and that's the order we gave the rankings. If we were just to break down the rankings, it would, that is, we gave 10 to Fall. Yeah, so, I mean, I think I just agree with our rankings, which I think I should agree with
ideally,
with what we went with. So, I think no need to reorder, which is good. Sometimes I think at the end of projects or something, I don't know, there is sometimes
we have a little bit of a variety.
This movie, it might not be critically or, might not be well as made, but it just is a more of a favorite sort of thing. But no, I think this one, even with all the, all that taken into account, I think it's right where we got it. So, man, a 9 flat though. It feels good. Right in the middle, of kind of 1 and who would be the next? Rogue Nation, not quite middle, but almost. They're all very, very, man, they all have their own flavor. I don't think I can single out any one of them to watch one. That's tough. Even Fallout, like I can't just watch Fallout on its own, even though it's just incredible. I have to get everything before it.
Yeah, I'm with it. But I think with that we can conclude this episode of The Cinementalists, and we will be back next week with the finale of Mission Impossible. I am so very, very excited. But with that, I was Colton Robertson, and I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, I promise, your life will always matter more to me than my own.